As it climbs into the sky, a particle of salt or organic matter can form the nucleus of a water droplet. Research suggests that the organic material plays a larger role in cloud formation than previously thought. And there's evidence that high levels of bacteria can reduce sea spray's ability to help make clouds. There's also concern that the changing climate could alter the variety of phytoplankton found at the ocean surface, perhaps changing the way clouds form over the oceans. Science in the Sea is a production of the University of Texas Marine Science Institute and is on the web at scienceinthesea.org. I'm Holly Brawley.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Hilarious magic tricks, death-defying stunts, and acts of breathtaking wonder. The world's best-selling touring magic show, The Illusionists, live from Broadway, is coming to Riverside for 2 shows only at the Fox Performing Arts Center. Thursday, January 26, 7:30 p.m., Friday the 27th at 8 p.m. See 7 incredible illusionists. Tickets are on sale now at the Fox Performing Arts Center box office, all Ticketmaster locations, riversidelive.com, ticketmaster.com, or charge by phone at 800-745-3000.
Plexus Slim, the pink drink. It works. Consider the following. 95% of all diets and weight loss programs fail. 8 out of 10 Americans over the age of 25 are overweight. And 174 million Americans are overweight. Finally, there is a healthy solution to help you lose weight. The synergistic effect of Plexus Slim and Plexus 96 taken together can help you lose more weight faster than you ever thought possible. Experience quick results and keep the weight off. People around the country are experiencing amazing results, and you can too. Plexus Slim and Plexus 96 have been shown to reduce binge eating and to help increase your willpower over food. Plexus Slim, also known as the pink drink, is a powdered product that comes in small, easy-to-open stick packets. Just tear open a packet and add about 12 ounces of water. Drink 1 time a day for weight loss. When you take Plexus Slim, it basically convinces your body and your brain that you've already eaten and that you don't need any more food. Your craving for food is gone. Plus, right now, you can try it free for 7 days. Just email your name, address, and phone number for a free sample to tryplexusfree@gmail.com. Tryplexusfree@gmail.com. Plexus Slim, the pink drink. It works.
We are farmers. We are all day long doers. Agriculture isn't just our industry, it's our way of life. We invest in equipment that's long-lasting, economical, and environmentally conscious because that's what it takes to do the job right. We're all about greater horsepower and cleaner emissions, new implements, more attachments, better technology, and dependable engineering. For all your ag equipment needs, we are Kubota.
This is KCAA.
Hello and welcome to the Financial Wake Up Show. Each week, we explore and take a deep dive into awakening the financial abundance we all have inside of us. We educate and create awareness by focusing on fundamental principles of money, talking to business and community leaders about successful habits, while learning from each other how to build, protect, and create legacies. And now, here's your host, Daniel Choi.
Good morning, everyone. It is another new day, a beautiful Saturday here in Southern California, and with each day comes a new beginning and a new chance to do something great, learn something new, and enjoy everything this great life has to offer. If you haven't already done so, go to iTunes or Google Play, subscribe to the podcast. You can download all our shows there if you're not listening live right now. Also, subscribe to the show on YouTube. You can find all of it under the Financial Wake Up Show with Daniel Choi. Follow the show, like us, and I promise I'll bring refreshing content to you every week. I am broadcasting live again on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. I combine integrity with intelligence to wake you up to things you want to be doing financially. So check out our website, financialwakeupshow.com, or visit us on Facebook and Twitter. That's at TFWUS. If you have any doubts, just reach out. And so on every show, we talk about 3 things: growing and protecting your wealth, exit planning, which is selling or transferring your business if you're a business owner, or retirement if you're an employee, and estate planning, which is creating a legacy while fully enjoying your money while you're alive. And when I do an analysis on people's situations, I find that there's this very powerful financial product that a lot of people are using. It can be a foundational piece to someone's financial future, but I've also seen that there's very little planning around it. And the analogy I think of, it's this very super powerful laser ray gun that people are running around carrying, but they don't know how to use it effectively. And because of this, I think there's an opportunity to learn about it. I'm going to talk about it today. So what is this product that everyone's using that's so powerful that not many people are planning around? It's real estate. Many of my clients own real estate. Many people own real estate. But I have seen a lot of backwards thinking around it, and it's a very powerful tool. So today's Wake Up Now segment is, how does real estate factor into my financial life? And if you've ever had questions around real estate, email me right now, daniel@financialwakeupshow.com. Call the studio, 1-888-909-1050 with questions. I'll take them right over the air. As I said before, if you have any doubt, just reach out. So there are three types of real estate ownership I see commonly with clients. One is buying a home, then you live in it. The second is buying investment real estate and driving income from it. And the third is, quote unquote, flipping homes, which has been less popular than it was in the mid-2000s, but it still crops up in conversations that I have from time to time. So first of all, when you buy real estate and live in it, it's got a dual purpose. It's your dwelling, and you're looking for it to appreciate in value. Some plan to upgrade the home, or others, you may want to live there forever. Either way, both those ideas, either upgrading or living there forever, requires some thoughtful planning. Secondly, investment real estate. This is where you purchase a property and rent it out, and then eventually sell that property for a gain. Again, very different planning processes here on investment real estate, particularly on when you plan on selling that, as well as the legal documents behind it, which I'll talk about later. And it's critical to think of it very differently than you would your own home. And then lastly, quickly about flipping. That's where you purchase a distressed or an auctioned home, you renovate it, and then you resell it at a profit, hopefully, in a shortened period of time. And I'll talk briefly about that as well. We all hear about real estate and the potential for growth in it. It is a foundational piece to anyone's overall wealth building. And you might ask, why is it? Well, we all need a place to live, first of all. There are very powerful tax deductions available. There are tax-free provisions on the gains in the value of the home, which is another tax benefit. And then there's growth opportunity in it. So that's four big reasons right off the bat where real estate can be an important building block. In a perfect world, you're going to have a place to live. You can write off the interest for an asset that sits on your balance sheet rather than paying income taxes to the IRS. It's an asset that can grow, and you can have access to the gains to some degree tax-free. And of course, consult with your CPA on that. But generally the rule is up to $250,000 in capital gains for a single person, or $500,000 of capital gains for a married couple is exempt, which is a pretty sweet deal, right? So now, in understanding that real estate is an investment, it's also important to understand how it grows, because it's a very unique investment. It's not like a stock or bond or mutual fund. First off, let's look at how it grows. Real estate grows in a very hard to understand way, because it's going to appreciate, number one, because of the physical structure, right? The design, the interior, the amenities, but more importantly, it's the locality, and that's driven by jobs, demand, crime rates, school districts. You know, here in Southern California, traffic's a big deal, views, landscape. There's so many factors that go into how these properties appreciate. And it's unique in that your return on investment is not based on how much money you put into it. It's based on those growth factors. So it's very unique in that way. And I'll give you a very simple example. If you and I are neighbors, okay, and our homes are both worth $800,000, and I put 10% down, which is $80,000, and you put 50% down, which is $400,000, okay? Let's say over the next year, our houses go up in value 10% because of all those factors I listed. Well, my return on investment is plus 100%. Yours is plus 20%. That's a huge difference. But if you put, let's say you put 400,000 into a mutual fund or managed account, and I only put in 80,000 into that same account, you're going to make more money because your profits are based on how many shares you're buying. Now in real estate, because we're borrowing the money, how you design the mortgage and the down payment plays a huge role in the financial efficiency of your home or other parts of your real estate portfolio. And these effects are going to trickle into other areas of your financial life, like college funding, retirement, your lifestyle. I mean, ultimately, it really does. So that's where I start to see problems in real estate. And sometimes I have to undo those problems or start all over with them. And there are three major problem areas. That's why my guest today is going to talk to you about having the right team in place for all your real estate needs. The first problem area that you want to avoid and hopefully prevent is the mortgage itself. I have seen absolutely the wrong types of mortgages used with the wrong down payments, with the wrong thought process for a family who is saving for retirement, saving to send some kid to college, or even already retired. This home then becomes a burden instead of a foundation on which to build from. The taxes and potential savings are bleeding out on the side. Clients don't even know they're losing the money. And the reason this problem exists is that the primary function of a good mortgage broker is to get you into a well-priced loan, which hopefully they do, and it fits within your monthly budget. That's great. However, where's the strategy behind how to pay this mortgage down and how it affects your cash flow later? Do you plan to upgrade the home, live there forever, or move into a bigger home? Do you have other financial concerns that you're tying up into this one investment? People lose their homes a lot of times because they're over leveraged into it, and the mortgage design is the primary culprit. Also, paying off the mortgage as soon as possible. I want to be debt free. I want to put a large down payment. These are common things I hear, and you may want to pump your brakes on just making assumptions like that. All right, because it's making a decision today that could affect you over the next 30 years. An example, if I meet a 30-year-old single attorney or professional and they're making $120,000, one of the things I may suggest is buy a home, because you're going to pay taxes through the nose as a single person with no deductions. Well, fast forward, look at a 70-year-old couple who's retiring. The kids are out of the house. They put all their retirement into qualified plans, so they're going to take income tax on all that income they drive in retirement, and they have no deductions. Isn't that pretty much the same situation as that 30-year-old professional? So it's not as simple as saying, I'm just going to pay off the house and the mortgage, I want to be debt. You have to structure all of these correctly. What's the difference between a 15 and a 30-year mortgage? Huge implications. Huge. But people just make this decision very simple. Now, the second problem area I see is how people think about real estate. There's this perception that you can't lose, or you lose less in real estate, or that it's more safe, or that it's the best investment. Now, if your argument is that it's the best because you have a passion for real estate and you love it, well, there's no arguing there. I mean, that's your opinion. But if you're going to look at rate of return, that's a different story, because real estate is like any kind of investment. I have seen people lose their lives because of real estate. I have seen people lose their retirements because of real estate. And it's got risk, just like anything else. And when you don't have balance, no matter what you're looking at, you start putting all your eggs in one basket. You got to be ready. So why are these perceptions out there about real estate performance? Well, let's imagine this. You're driving home every day. And you know how when you watch, the stock market, there's those ticker symbols going by showing you the price of different stocks going by. I want you to imagine on the roof of your house is a ticker symbol, okay? And you're pulling up to the driveway every day, and the local school just won a Distinguished School Award. And that day, the price of your home goes up. And then 2 weeks later, somebody's house gets broken into. And so now your house value drops. And you're watching this every day as you're driving in. And let's say there's a fire down the street and jobs leave the area, and all of a sudden your house value drops a ton. Well, you can't just click a mouse button and sell your home, because you live there, and escrow takes a long time. You got to find a buyer, you got to stage the home, all that stuff. It's not easy to just go ahead and sell your home. But when you've got an investment that's fluctuating up and down, all of a sudden you hear some bad news. Oh my goodness, I need to sell. You click a mouse button, you're out. In other words, real estate performs better because people hold it longer, which is great. all investments, you've got to let them marinate. But real estate does well because it's a good return that you're holding for a long time. So let's look at Microsoft. Let's say I met you in 1987, okay? And the kids are in the living room, they're playing, Nintendo because it's 1987. And I tell you, hey, there's this company called Microsoft. You should buy this company called Microsoft. And I hold it with you until the year 2000, all right? If you held Microsoft from 1987 to 2000, you'd have earned a 56.7% annual return. Your money would have gone up 343% in that time. What's the only thing you have to do with Microsoft in those 13 years? All you have to do is hold it. That's it. If you held it to 2017, which is 30 years later, you'd have a 57.6% annual return. Your money would have gone up 369%. But how many people hold that stock? Like they would their home. I know a lot of clients who've held their home for 30 years, which is great because they've seen phenomenal returns. But how many people are thinking about that when it comes to other things? There's less emotional up and down when it comes to their home. Why? Because the kids are in school. You're not going to pull them out of school because the property value dropped. You love the home. You've got a garden that you've planted over the years. You're not so quick to make judgments about it. You have less access to the home value during an emergency. If you have a health emergency or medical emergency, a lot easier to sell other investments and use that money. You're not going to take a refi on the house because you have a health emergency, unless it's really bad. And then the last thing is beware of success stories. You are always, and this is not just real estate, by the way, folks. Everyone out there will share more of their success stories than their failure stories because failure is embarrassing. No one's going to go around running around saying, oh my God, I lost everything because I invested in a property in Hawaii. Okay? They're not going to say that. And by the way, beware of braggers because when braggers talk, a lot of times they're over-exaggerating. I know this because when I meet braggers and then I see what they really have, they don't really have too much. So be aware of how you think about real estate because that can lead you down the trouble as well. Claims made by real estate trainers and investment companies. Wow. Be real careful about these. I don't know who regulates what is said on the radio and on websites about real estate investing, but some of the claims they make are completely outlandish. You can get suckered into paying subscription fees. Just be careful about that. Also, quick side note, if you ever hear like a rule of thumb that solves everything or anything you read that says, this never loses or a system that never fails or a product that sounds too good to be true of any kind of investment, I have never seen in any one of my 2,800 cases in my lifetime where one rule has worked every time. I have seen all strategies work. I have seen all of them fail. And if you don't plan this out, there's too much luck involved. The point of having the show that, every Saturday is to eliminate some of that hope and luck, instill some certainty in you. And again, if you have any doubt, just reach out. Now, to finish up the segment, before I bring my guest on, a couple other things. Rental real estate. This is where the mortgage is really critical because if your mortgage and cash flow are not planned out correctly, you're just buying a home to rent it out thinking it's that easy. First of all, realize the income is taxable income tax rates. That's not capital gains. So it's a heavy, heavy tax. Many people underestimate maintenance, okay? That's a big, big deal. There's no longer a capital gains exemption on rental real estate like you do on your personal home. So watch out for that. And a lot of times people are investing in outside markets out of their local area in smaller markets, not like California sometimes. And there's more risk involved with those when you don't know the area and you could be going into a market that is much smaller. So I've had the experience of this, investing in smaller markets in real estate, and it takes a lot longer to recover. I can tell you that. So real quickly, the last point, legal. Legal is another risk. I have seen where people own properties. You might have caught my show a few weeks back around estate planning. Wills and trusts are not set up. The home goes through probate. It's a big mess. I've also seen with you who own rental real estate, please be aware of liability, lawsuits, creditor protections. It's a big deal. I have seen people who don't have these set up and you end up with legal issues, including tenants who are upset that something is damaged. I had a client who's had major roofing issues. All these things you got to be ready to fix right away. It's a lot more complicated than people realize sometimes. Last thing, real estate can get very emotional. These are our homes in many cases. And, losing a home, buying the wrong one, getting involved in a legal issue, it's just so not worth it. This is something that should be a very exciting piece of your financial life. I encourage you to make sure you have the best team in place to take care of this very important piece of your financial plan. A great realtor, mortgage broker, title company, advisor, legal team, tax person. This can all be yours if you just reach out and find out how. So again, email me, Daniel@financialwakeupshow.com. If you have any questions, call the studio right now, 888-909-1050. I'll take your question right over the air. And so to finish this up, our be aware or beware tip of the week is be aware that real estate can be a very powerful foundation that reaps multiple rewards for you financially and emotionally for your family if done correctly. And be aware that real estate is also an investment that has a lot of financial moving parts. And if the design of your mortgage, the down payment you're putting in, the legal documents you have, the expectations you have, if they're not aligned, be aware that you could face a problem like a foreclosure settlement with a bank. I have seen this way too many times. It is not fun, so let's avoid it. So the fix, again, talk to me, email me, reach out. We are going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to welcome my guests to the show. Phone lines are open, 888-909-1050. Let's chat some more. You're on the Financial Wake Up Show with Daniel Choi, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Look, you can't go a week without hearing how the Ford F-150 is way ahead, leaving every other truck choking on its gravel. And when it comes to safety, the truck that leads the pack is the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body Ford F-150. F-150 is the only pickup to earn both of the most important safety awards in America. First, it earned the government's highest overall safety rating, 5 stars, for all sides and all cab configurations. And now, F-150s earned the IIHS Top Safety Pick on Super Cab and Super Crew with optional forward collision warning. The competition? Yeah, right. Just don't ask for both safety awards, because that ain't happening, pal. Let's review. F-150 is the only pickup to earn both awards, once again raising the stakes for what a truck should be. This is the safest Ford F-150 ever, and every other truck is history.
Government 5-star safety ratings are part of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's new car assessment program. Tests include driver and passenger front side and side barrier pull tests.
Okay, and at this point in the show, we are going to bring on a guest. It is a true pleasure to have her on. She is. You're going to hear this intro, but first off, let me just say the success that I've seen come out of everything that she does is pretty remarkable. She is Barbara Betts, owner of the Betts team, one of the most successful real estate practices I've seen here in Southern California. She specializes in the areas of Long Beach, Orange County, and South Bay areas here down in the LAOC areas. I just saw on a social media post they were involved in over $38 million of real estate sales and purchases in 2016. I just think that's remarkable. She's a top team award winner in the largest real estate office in Long Beach, a 5-star professional award winner multiple years in a row. She's on the board of directors for the Pacific West Association of Realtors, a Keller Williams Agent Leadership Council member. She's on the Long Beach Women's Council of Realtors as a governing board member. She has a great team, a great company, and always a great resource and partner for me. So I want to take this moment and welcome Barbara to the Financial Wake Up Show on KCAA. How are you this morning, Barbara?
I'm good, thank you, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm
Good.
really excited to have you on. I want to get into, yeah, absolutely, and I want to get into your business and what sets you apart in just a little bit. But there's some things that have come up in the news, and I'd like your opinion on those, and then we'll go into how your firm and how you do business will address some of these things. I know. Everyone's curious always, what does a real estate market look like in 2017 for the country and for California specifically?
Well, as you know, that's $1 million question right now, isn't it? Funny, obviously, oddly enough, that today is the first day of the new administration for our country, and just having a transition of leadership, for the United States. The real answer is I don't think anyone knows. It's definitely hard to project what's going on, what's going to happen across the U.S. Since I have this platform, what I'd love to share with your listeners is that you may or may not have heard just yesterday that the first thing on the Trump agenda was that they repealed an FHA mortgage insurance premium cut that Obama's administration had just put into place a few weeks ago. And I've seen a lot of things on social media that are, unfortunately, just people being misinformed. And there's a lot of people out there that are saying this cut is going to cost homeowners more money. And one thing I'd love to share to kind of a truth statement is that the cuts were never in place yet. They were supposed to go into effect on the 27th. Yes, we were excited about them. Yes, the markets reacted positively to them. But the reality is they never happened. So it's not going to cost people more money. And I think that's something that I'm seeing out there right now is people are freaking out thinking it's going to cost them more money to buy a home. No, nothing's going to change right now. We're just going to stay doing what we've been doing with FHA loans. So on a side note, obviously not directed towards the question, but I think important information because I'm just seeing a lot of my clients, friends, and people post out there thinking that, this is causing a huge change, and the reality is we're just staying the same. But specifically to the Southern California area.
Just real quickly, Barbara, you read my mind because my second question was right on that topic, and I guess great minds think alike maybe. I don't know, but you answered it in advance, so thank you for that information.
Yeah, of course. Good. It's kind of got me going this morning because I feel bad that people are interpreting it as, oh my gosh, now it's going to all of a sudden cost more money to buy a home. No. Just going to stay the way it's always been. And I do think they will visit it. I do think that they will evaluate it. And I do think it is a possibility to still come forward at some time in 2017. But specifically to the Southern California area, Orange County Register just came out with a great article a few weeks ago, beginning of January, with their predictions. And, they're saying in Orange County, in Southern California specifically, still probably a 6% appreciation again this year, which is nothing to take a stick at, right? There were months we were up to 15, 16, 17%. There obviously was a crash where we were going negative, but a 6% appreciation is actually kind of a national average across the board year over year. If you look at home appreciation, over 30-year term, 6% is very average. Slight rise in home sales.
I've seen 8.8% from the Department of Real Estate in California, at least over the last 30 years, which is, again, compounding fantastic.
Exactly. And, it means that, yes, we're going to have years that we go up, and we're going to have years that, we may only appreciate 2 to 4%, but we're still appreciating. Prices are still going to rise in California. We're going to see a slight rise in home sales, I believe. But most importantly, the wild card we have right now is the rise in interest rates. The rise in interest rates will affect our market, and we're just not quite sure in what way. But one thing I can say is in Southern California, if you read national articles and you read articles that prices are going to fall, sales are going to fall. You need to segment out the fact that Southern California is different than any other real estate market in the nation because of our lack of inventory. We're not building in Southern California. We don't have a lot of real estate available to build. And although you'll see builders are building again, they are building mostly multi-units, not building a lot of single-family homes. So housing affordability, housing inventory, those are our biggest issues in Southern California.
I see. And we do have listeners, quite a few up in the Bay Area. Do you know if that applies up there as well? I don't think they're doing a lot of building,
I would say it's even worse. I would say it's even worse in the Bay Area,
okay.
Which is why, their prices have appreciated to levels that, have been unforeseen in any recent time. So I would say Northern California, they're seeing an even more of a constraint. Because their population, with all the growth in the tech jobs and the Silicon Valley and all of that, has just gone up so much that they have so many people moving up there and just not enough inventory to put them in.
That's right. Now, you've hit on two topics that I wanted to cover technically, which is the mortgage premiums change and then the interest rates. You've got this saying, real estate by relationship. I see it on a lot of your newsletters and outreach. What does this mean to you, when a client is trying to navigate through all these things? And I don't know if you caught the beginning of my show, but there's a lot of things that can throw people off track. What does real estate by relationship to you mean in your practice?
When I started 14 years ago, I really thought I was going to get in this business to help people. No one told me that, you're a salesperson. If someone would have told me that, I probably wouldn't have gotten into real estate. I got into real estate because I wanted to help people. And I wanted to help people with the largest purchase they were ever going to make in their life. And so I've learned a lot over the years of relationship-based sales, or relational-based sales versus transactional-based sales. And what you're going to find in a lot of real estate practices is more of a transactional mindset. It's how many sales can I do? How many signs can I put in the yard? How many deals can I do? And our motto of real estate by relationship means that our main and primary goal is to treat our clients as a relationship and not a transaction. We want to get to know our clients. We want to help advise them. We want to advise them on other things in their life. We want to connect them to other people that they're going to need in their financial life. We take care of our clients at a very deep level. We want to ensure that their needs are always met. And ultimately what real estate by relationship means is our clients become part of our real estate family. And Dan, you've seen that from the experience you and your family have had. You've seen that at our events that we host for our clients, and we really do want to create a real estate family. We want to be the trusted advisor for our clients, just like they have a CPA, just like they have a financial advisor, just like you have a doctor. When you're sick, you call your doctor. When you have a question about your home, when you have a question about real estate, when you have a question about what to do with your homeowner's insurance, if you have a question of just how much your home's worth, we don't rely on that paper that's left on your doorstep by the neighborhood realtor who's choosing the information they want to put on that flyer. We want them to be able to call their trusted advisor that they know is going to give them a true and honest, and tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there isn't, not everything's positive. Sometimes we have to hear the negative things, and just like you go to your doctor, we're not afraid to share those things with you and be that partner with you in your, life of owning a home, and hopefully your friends and family and everyone else surrounding you.
Yeah, very good points there. I get those little flyers all the time, and I wonder, what is this? What is this? Are these numbers real? And so it's good to know. Now, I think real estate, as I mentioned earlier, it's a critical piece to building wealth over time. You mentioned it's the biggest purchase in your life, and that's true in many cases. What do you see as common mistakes made with clients that have either purchased real estate in the past or looking to purchase their first home or upgrade? What are some mistakes you see?
Definitely not being prepared, not doing their research and due diligence up front, not realizing you aren't just buying a home, you're buying an investment for your future. I think buyers don't understand, that when you own a home, you have to own it for the right reasons. And I heard you talking earlier, I was listening in, and so many things you said were so correct, that you have to think about how this purchase is going to impact your entire life and what your goals are. And that's something we do really well with our clients is we don't just put someone in a car and take them out to go look at a home. We sit down with them face to face and we talk about their goals. What are your goals with owning this home? How long do you want to own this home? How do you want to grow in this home? What's your, do you plan on keeping this as an investment one day when you move on to another home? Or do you think you're going to live here for 30 years? Are you going to have a job change in the future? Are you going to move? So talking about their goals and working backwards is so important, because you have to understand that, buying a home isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Like you said earlier, it's wealth over time. It will, I'm confident that I can say, you buy a home, you do a loan the right way, you leverage your home the correct way, and you hold it for a long enough period of time, you will create wealth. And the more of those properties you can buy, the more wealth you will have. But you have to do it smart. And I think the one thing that buyers don't understand is that every move you make in buying real estate, including picking your lender, not working with a high-quality lender, is a huge mistake buyers make. You're attracted to low-rate advertising. You hear these online banks. You hear these commercials with these, rock-bottom rates. A loan is not simply a rate. It's a program. It's terms. It's fees. Just like you need a high-quality lender or a high-quality realtor, you need a high-quality lender that's going to be along your side to explain the options, talk about how it's going to affect you. Maybe you know you're going to move 5 years out of the area, so maybe a 30-year loan isn't right for you. Maybe you know for sure in 5 years you're relocating out of the state. Maybe it's time to look at an alternative program. And then the last thing is, we talked about this get-rich process. It's going to create wealth over time. Understanding the value of your home is going to fluctuate. It's going to go up and it's going to come down, and being prepared for that. Buying a home is a big girl and big boy process. It's a mature process. And I think you have to be in the right mindset and have the right people surrounding you to make sure you don't make those mistakes. Make sure you can see those warning signs. Make sure you're buying the right property and you're looking at all the different angles for it. So I think not doing the due diligence, not being prepared, not getting pre-approved, all of those are really important steps that especially first-time home buyers need to take into account when they're buying.
All great points there, Barbara. I agree wholeheartedly. It's interesting how I look at it from a different angle, but I'm seeing the same issues. Incorrectly designed mortgages, people who aren't even aware of their options, when it comes to their home. People who have told me they're leaving the home in 7 years to another home, but they're, max paying this thing down, getting rid of deduction. I mean, it's crazy. One of the other areas I've seen that I think your team does a really good job in is, making sure the home's valued correctly and that what you're buying is what you think you're buying. Walk us through the due diligence that you've talked to me about being so critical in either selling or buying a home.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of realtors just tell their clients, when you're buying a home, let's make an offer. They get all caught up in the speed of the market, how many offers there are, we got to get this house, throwing out numbers that I don't even think the buyers understand what they're getting themselves into. And, our team and my husband and I have a very, very, very strategic, I wouldn't say even conservative, I would say more strategic approach to helping someone buy a home. And first and foremost is every single home that you write an offer on, regardless of how well I know the neighborhood, regardless of if I just sold the home next door, we need to look at the current comparable numbers for that home. We need to look at what are things selling for around this home and make a really strategic offer. My goal is that my clients never end up in an appraisal issue. Yes, the appraisal is there to protect you, but we should never get to an appraisal issue. And if I feel like you're going to have an appraisal issue, I'm going to tell you up front. I'm going to say, listen, Dan, this offer you just wrote, we might have some trouble getting comparables to support it. We'll do the best we can. We'll walk you through the process if we don't. But I'm going to prepare you up front that I don't believe this home will appraise. Now, I've had people buy homes that don't appraise. I've had people pay more than the home's worth because there was 10 other offers and there's no other homes in the neighborhood, and getting into that school is worth it to the client to pay that extra $5,000. And you know what? As long as you understand what you're doing, that's okay. That's okay, especially if you're looking at holding it for a long period of time. So I think where realtors miss the mark is they don't do the due diligence up front before writing the offer. They just throw out these offers. They don't prepare their client for what those numbers mean. They don't ensure that the payment is going to work for them before they write that offer. You need to check in with that lender and make sure that payment that you just adjusted the price $10,000, $15,000, that payment's still going to work for the client, that the closing costs are still going to work for the client. So I think being really strategic in preparing the offer, doing the due diligence around the comparable values of each property you write an offer on is essential to ensuring that the buyer has a good experience and doesn't get themselves into trouble.
That's right. That's right. It's very good. Now, how do people get in touch with you? What's the best way? You've said a lot of great points. Perhaps there's people out there who may want to learn more. Again, if you have any doubt, just reach out. How do people get in touch with you?
All different ways. Obviously, you can reach me on my cell. That's fully available. I'm sure Dan will put that out, in literature after the show. Email, social media, website. You can find us pretty much anywhere. I don't say we're always available, but we are very easily accessible. And we'd love to help anyone that just wants to sit down and have a conversation about how real estate can help them in the future and how to make the right moves and how to avoid making the wrong move.
And again, this you'll see very shortly on our website under the Give More to Get More tab. All of our connections are on there. Barbara will be, and her team will be on there. Do we want to make the announcement right now, Barbara, about what we've got coming up, or what do you want to do?
I think we absolutely should.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners what we've got planned?
So Dan and I have put together I don't think we've really settled on the title yet, but we'll just call it a workshop and an informative evening for your listeners and obviously people within our network to come together and learn about how buying a home affects them in all different aspects. We're going to have obviously our amazing financial advisor there to talk about the impacts of the investment with regards to real estate. We're going to have a top-notch lender there who is one of my preferred lenders who's going to be there to discuss with you loan programs, options, how to get a great loan. And then we're also going to have a CPA and a estate planning attorney there to talk about, tax implications of buying and selling property. But most importantly, the biggest thing I'm excited about is we're not going to just talk about buying a home. We're going to talk about move-up buyers. We're going to talk about strategies to move up in the market. We're going to talk about contingency periods, how to protect yourself, and all those things that sometimes people are scared to dip their toe in the water because they're afraid of the process. So we're going to kind of take those stresses away and help you understand how all of your goals can be achieved in real estate if you just get the right team on your side.
I'm very excited, and you're going to see more literature on that on the website as well. So it should be a fantastic way for us to team together, get information out to everyone listening as well as in our networks, and I'm looking forward. So, Barbara, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye. So, as we go to the next piece in the show, I want to take a quick break. When we get back, I'm going to take a question from my email bag and welcome my final guest to the show. You are listening to the Financial Wake Up Show on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Hey, I'm Paul, the guy who used to ask if you could hear me now on Verizon. Not anymore. I switched to Sprint. Yeah, you heard that right. I switched to Sprint. It's 2016, folks, and every network is great. In fact, Sprint's reliability is now within 1% of Verizon's. 1%. But Sprint is saving you 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rate plans. That's right, a great network, half the rate. I switched, and millions more have too. Can you hear that? Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com/network, or call 800-SPRINT1 today.
Reliability claim based on third-party drive test average savings until 5/31/18 after pay full amount subject to $30 activation fee, credit and valid port in. Applies to Verizon plan 1, 3, 6, 12, 18, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 gigabytes. AT&T Mobile share value 300 megabytes and 2, 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 gigabytes. T-Mo Simple Choice 2, 6, 10 gigabytes. Carrier features differ. Plans exclude unlimited music and video streaming, data carryover, tethering, and cloud options that other carrier plans may offer. See website for eligible plans. Limited time offer. Must choose from porting carrier rates. Offer coverage not everywhere or for all phones. Restrictions apply.
Okay, and welcome back. We're going to go to the email bag. I got a question from Steve. I don't know where Steve is from, but I appreciate the write-in here. Here's what he says. Daniel, I find your show extremely informative, and I want to thank you for the information you're sharing each week. I appreciate the kind words, Steve. I really do. That makes me fired up. But here's this question. I have a will and a trust, and I have a CPA that does my taxes. You talk a lot about what of the things that I need to be aware of. How do I know if there were mistakes made on my will and trust or when filing my taxes? It's a good question, and there is no real quick answer to this, and here's why. Without looking at the details, it's impossible to tell. I have reviewed trusts, I would guess over 1,000 of them in my lifetime, and sometimes a paragraph makes a huge difference. So I'll give you an example. I had one client who wanted access to their money during their life, but one paragraph in there had actually said nobody gets access until one person dies. So that's one example. It could be one line item on a tax return. That can make a huge difference. And so without studying those things, it's hard to tell. You could be getting all the right advice possible. But I always say, if you have any sort of doubt, seek a second opinion, because you should never sacrifice relationship for performance. You may have existing relationships, but I have seen routinely thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars differences made through the analyses I've done, literally. And it can be a sensitive topic. I get it. Professionals, they can get defensive. I shoot ideas down because they didn't think of them. They don't want to admit any mistakes. But again, it's just not worth it. And in the worst case scenario, you might learn a few things. You might stay with your people, but at least you're more informed. You've already reached out, Steve, so I'm definitely going to reach back out to you to connect. But again, if you have any doubt, just reach out. So hard to tell without looking at the details, I'll tell you that. But again, you have a resource and resources to reach out to and find out that information. Okay. Every week I highlight a charity to end the show. Why is that? Because I don't think you can get more in life without giving more. I really, truly believe that. And on this week, Give More to Get More segment, I'm going to welcome Elizabeth Starr to the show. She is chair of the Pacific Symphony Board of Directors. For more than 4 decades, her efforts on behalf of the countless Orange County organizations that she's been a part of have resulted in significant and long-lasting positive change for the whole region. She has worked hard to ensure that all the tickets for performances done by the Pacific Symphony Santiago Strings, the Pacific Symphony Youth Wind Ensemble, and the Pacific Symphony Youth Orchestra are all free to the public, which is remarkable. She has worked tirelessly to secure funds for the Pacific Symphony Youth Orchestra, together with her husband, John. They contribute to the board of directors, as well as been very generous supporters of the annual fund, the endowment fund, and the capital campaign. They built the Renee and Henry Segerstrom Center. Many of you have been to that. The concert organ, the William Gillespie concert organ. She's also served on the board of Pacific Chorale for several years. She's been honored for service by the Newport Harbor Chamber of Commerce. She was Woman of the Year in the 37th Senate District and is the Athena Woman of the Year by the Newport Harbor Panhellenic. It is my pleasure to welcome Elizabeth to the show. How are you doing this Saturday morning?
Thank you very much. This is very nice of you to do. I'm not president of Pacific Symphony. I run the Pacific Symphony Youth Orchestra program for teenagers. And that has been my job for quite a number of years now. Carl St. Clair is our conductor for the Pacific Symphony, and he has been conductor for the past 27 years, which is really an unusual situation for a conductor to be that long with one orchestra. The Symphony, Pacific Symphony, was founded, it's the largest orchestra founded in the United States for the last 50 years, and it's recognized for its outstanding ensemble, making strides on both the national and international scene, as well as its own community of Orange County. We present more than 100 concerts and events a year with a rich array of education and community engagement programs. The Symphony reaches more than 300,000 residents, from school children to senior citizens. And that's one of the things we're most proud of, is the number of school children that we teach music to and the number of senior citizens that we have come to our concerts. We offer a repertoire that ranges from the great orchestra masterworks to music from today's most prominent composers, highlighted by our annual American Composers Festival. 5 seasons ago, the Symphony launched the highly successful opera and vocal initiative, Symphonic Voices, which continues in February 2017 with Verdi's Aida. It also offers a popular pop series, which is enhanced by the state-of-the-art video and sound, led by principal pops conductor Richard Kaufman, who celebrated 25 years with the orchestra in 2015 and 16. Again, a long-time pops conductor is very unusual to have with a symphony orchestra. Each symphony season also includes Café Ludwig, a chamber music series, an educational family musical morning series, and Sunday Classical Connections, an orchestra matinee series offering rich explorations of selected works led by Carl St. Clair. We get many senior citizens who come out on a Sunday afternoon to those concerts. We were founded in 1978 as a collaboration between California State University Fullerton and North Orange County community leader led by Marcy Mulville. The Symphony performed at its first concerts at Fullerton Plummer Hall as the Pacific Chamber Orchestra. That seems a long time ago to us now. In 1986, the Symphony moved to the new Orange County Performing Arts Center, and from 1987 to 2016, the orchestra additionally presented a summer outdoor series at Irvine's Meadow Amphitheater, where we got 30,000 people coming to those concerts. It's been an enormous success. In 2006 and 2007, the Symphony moved into the Renee and Henry Segerstrom Concert Hall with its striking architectural by Cesar Pelle and acoustics by Russell Johnson. Russell Johnson actually came to concerts for many times and sat in a seat every location in the concert hall to be sure that the acoustics were right. It was a very interesting observation to watch him moving around. In 2008, we inaugurated the Hall's critically acclaimed 4,322 pipe William Gillespie concert organ. And Bill Gillespie still comes to hear the concerts, the organ concerts, and is very supportive of my youth orchestra program. The orchestra embarked on its first European tour in 2006, performing in 9 cities in 3 countries. John and I went along on that tour, and it was a very interesting experience. Am I still there?
Yes, you're still with us, and
okay,
and
all right.
some
the orchestra
fantastic
embarked on its first European tour, and in 2006, and we performed in 9 cities in 3 countries. 2016-17 season continues St. Clair's commitment to new music with commissions by pianist, composer Conrad Tao and composer in residence Narang Prasakti. Narang came to our youth orchestra, and we had about 10 high school kids perform new music. One young man is now using that for his applications to college, and there are not very many young people who can put down on their college application, I composed a piece. It was performed with a big audience, and people clapped. He said afterwards it was a real challenge, but a wonderful experience for him. We also have Richard Danielpour toward a season of peace, and Philip Glass, The Passion of Ramakrishna, and Fire, Water, Paper, and Vietnamese oratory by Goldstoff featuring Yo-Yo Ma. Other leading composers commissioned by
Elizabeth, before Elizabeth, I just want to ask really quickly, how I know, just because of time's sake, I want to get our listeners involved, and I know that many of the programs the Pacific Symphony funds are through philanthropy and through
Correct.
People giving. Do you have any way that they can get involved, or how do they get involved with events or fundraisers that you've been mentioning over the last 5 minutes or so?
They can go on to our website, to pacificsymphony.org, and can contribute that way. And at the moment, I am looking for underwriters to underwrite a student to go to Vienna this summer. I am sending, we're sending 65 students with 7 chaperones, and 31 parents are going to go along on this tour to Vienna. And
wow.
I'm looking for scholarships to help these kids have this trip. These trips change these kids' lives. They get to meet musicians from other countries. They get the experience of travel. They also meet each other and get to be lifelong friends. One of the pluses of our program is that when these young people go off to the universities, they always know somebody, and they're always immediately accepted to any musical program that they want to participate in. Their talent and their ability is far above other young people coming into college because of our training that we give them. Our youngsters rehearse every single Sunday for 3 hours out at UCI, who provides us with places for rehearsal space. And they rehearse every Sunday the entire school year. So they're expected to practice for 3 hours daily so that they're prepared for those rehearsals, and they do. Therefore, we get our kids into all of these major schools. We have just heard from 5 kids who got in for early admission to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Williams College, and Georgetown. We already have 6 kids at Harvard and 6 kids at Juilliard from this program. Music and academics go together, and these kids prove it.
Yes, absolutely. And I've had the pleasure of attending some of these events and listening to Mr. St. Clair and his vision for the symphony. Such a great organization. Again, the website, everyone, pacificsymphony.org. If you are looking to get involved with their events and their philanthropic ideas. Again, Elizabeth mentioned underwriting a student to go to Vienna. I think that's a fantastic cause. So again, please visit pacificsymphony.org. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Elizabeth, on the Financial Wake Up Show and bringing awareness to the Pacific Symphony.
Thank you.
Have a great Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so here we are again, wrapping up another edition of the Financial Wake Up Show. We talked about a really important piece to your financial picture, which is the purchase of a home or real estate as part of it. Again, the moving pieces involved are so critical to understand. The mortgage, the home itself, the legal protection you need, the insurances. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the insurances that you should look into when purchasing a home. I'll have to cover that on a future show. But if you have any sorts of things that are on your mind that keep creeping up, call me, talk to me, ask me questions. The phone number to reach me off the air is 850-7-WAKE-UP. That's 850-7-WAKE-UP. My website, financialwakeupshow.com. You can also email me at daniel@financialwakeupshow.com. Again, Facebook and Twitter. You can definitely post messages under the Financial Wake Up Show as well. At the very least, let's just get informed. Again, everything we discuss is completely confidential. I want to help inform and create and awaken people to what you want to be doing financially. So if you ever miss a show, go to YouTube, go to iTunes, go to Google Play. Just search under the Financial Wake Up Show with Daniel Choi. We're all on there. Until next week, I wish you health, wealth, and prosperity. You've been listening to the Financial Wake Up Show with Daniel Choi on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Guardian, its subsidiaries, agents, and employees do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. Consult your tax, legal, or accounting professional regarding your individual situation. All investments contain risk and may lose value. Daniel Choi, Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor and Certified Exit Planner, is a registered representative financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA, SIPC, financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, PAS, is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Westpac Wealth Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. California Insurance License Number OD40390. This radio broadcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS, Guardian, or Westpac. Opinions stated are their own and not necessarily those of PAS, Guardian, or Westpac. 2016-30361 expires 10/18.
CR England Transportation, one of the largest trucking firms in the country, is hiring diesel and trailer mechanics with a $2,000 sign-on bonus, top pay, and benefits for qualified mechanics. To apply, visit www.crengland.com/careers. That's www.crengland.com/careers.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside,